Good afternoon, everybody. It is 1:50 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday, March 15th. We got the FOMC coming out here, and in my opinion, it's not going to be whether we get a hike this month that's going to drive the markets. It's going to be the interpretation of the language for the future outlook for the rest of 2017. So that could take a little while to be digested. Certainly wouldn't expect the first couple of minutes to give the clear direction and reaction that is going to be anticipated for the rest of the day and the short term rest of the week. So we need to be cautious and look for these signals on the shorter term timeframes that give us a clear direction in terms of trends. So I'll be zooming in on some of the 2-minute timeframes to get some of the more volatile movement. But right now we have gold and the miners seeing a bit of upside heading into the FOMC. I'm watching gold on the hourly time frame. I've got a downtrend resistance line that's being broken. To break the lower high pattern, we have to break 1205.09. We do have a double bottom at the low of the day. So let's see if the bulls can turn things around here. The bull miners are certainly responding so far. And we had a bull break on JNUG on the 5-minute time frame. We had a tightening range this morning, higher lows, lower highs, and then a clear bull break in continuation. So the bull miners are in the driver's seat heading into the FOMC reaction. The question will be, can they hold up? And we know there's going to be a lot of back and forth while we wait for things to settle down for the first couple of minutes. So there's no rush to jump into a trade. We've got 2 hours left in the day of trading, and we've got, momentum carrying over into tomorrow. So I usually like to wait things at least 5 minutes to settle, sometimes even 10, 15 minutes, depending on how choppy the action is initially. So the S&P 500 is strong. We broke 238.02 resistance. We're seeing the financial sector up. The tech sector is up. And I do like Netflix. If the bulls react well to the FOMC in the market, I'm going to be keeping an eye on Netflix. I like the setup on the daily and the shorter term timeframes there. And we'll be watching our names that are coming off of all-time highs, PCLN, Google, and some other strong individuals. Baba had a nice follow through. It was a very, very tight pattern on the 5-minute time frame. Triple bottom at the low of the day of 102.60. Now the bulls are taking over, breaking the lower high pattern. 103.49 key resistance on Baba. PRU, new key support the bulls must hold for the rest of the day is 111.79. And liking the bullish action on the daily time frame, the bulls bought the dip yesterday, and we're seeing follow through today. Breaking the high of 111.86 is a good sign for the bulls. And the next resistance on the daily is up at 112.69. So that's a good looking daily chart for the bulls. Nice follow through. So on SPY, we're seeing a little bit of bullish action, a little bit of pullback. Oil is also in a fairly tight range. Going to be keeping an eye on some solar names. FSLR and SPWR are looking to try and form some strong candlesticks today. We have not seen 2 strong days in a row in these solar names in quite some time. Going to be very picky while waiting for an entry. Bulls need to prove to me that they're showing up, but I've been stocking SPWR for almost 2 weeks now at this point. Liking Netflix bullish. If we get a bearish reaction to the market, keep an eye on Tesla. Tesla could drop to 250 very quickly. We're holding our last 5-minute moving average support of 255.22. And after the low of the day, 254.27, we are looking down at 250 as the next level. So I do like Tesla as a bear if the market pulls back and if we get a new low of the day on Tesla. So patiently waiting here. It's been a very slow day with low volume, and it's very clear that the market is holding its breath this morning. It was probably the slowest half an hour, the first half hour of trading that I can remember, even on holiday half days. It was just nice, low, steady, no wild movements. NVDA bulls have a bit of upside momentum. If we see the market bulls show up, we'll be watching the semiconductor sector. NVDA had a big time pullback. Really, the whole sector did. AMD seeing the same big time pullback and a very strong recovery. And liking the NVDA 5-minute chart, looks like a bull flag on the 5-minute. It all depends on the reaction that we get in the overall market, which would determine which individual names we look to and which direction we're going to be looking to on those individual names. I expect the most volatility in the miners, in gold, and in the financial sector. The financial sector bulls bought that dip yesterday, and they've been strong today. There is still a gap on XLF, the financial sector spider. That's down at 24.55. But the bulls are in control right now. So SPY support, we're looking down at 237.79 and then 237.64. All hourly moving averages are support. Did just form a big bearish reversal gravestone doji on the hourly time frame we'll have to be keeping an eye on, as we are seeing some profit taking heading into 2 p.m. Tesla is weak. GoPro has been in all-out dump mode at all-time lows. Twitter is weak. Those are some 3 names to be looking at for bearish reactions. And of course, we have ways to play SPY inverse. We've got SH is short the S&P 500, and we've been watching IWM see more magnified moves to the downside when the S&P 500 is weak. IWM struggling with the 50-day moving average resistance on Monday and struggling there again today, 136.73. Twitter on the daily time frame is hitting lower lows, and it has rejected from the exponential daily resistances for the past month, pretty much, past 3+ weeks. We're hitting lower lows now. The bears are in absolute full control of Twitter, and the next support is down at 14.51. And we actually had a bit of a fake out on the 5-minute time frame, but we didn't break resistance. We had 14.98, the high of the bounce attempt today, and we saw a bullish break of a tight range, but we topped out at 14.99. 1 penny above that level before a pullback to a new low of the day. And we're right at the low of the day, 14.86. So a break of 14.86, and we should see some more movement to the downside. Biotech sector has been strong today. It's up 1%. XBI has been holding up well for the past week. CLVS has been a lead biotech bull. It too is holding up after 2 very bullish days in a row. It looks like we're seeing a bit of profit taking in these bull miners. Volatility starting to pick up. You're watching the 5-minute higher low pattern. If JNUG breaks 592, that's a key support level on the 5-minute uptrend we currently have going today. So again, knee-jerk reactions, meaning an initial move in one direction before a complete turnaround, are common in these scenarios. And gold heading into 2 p.m. is rejecting from this downtrend hourly resistance line. Big upper wick, so we have to watch for the bulls to break that level after the double bottom at the low of the day. So the market with an initial bullish reaction doesn't mean anything at this point. Just a couple seconds here into 2 p.m. Eastern. Bullish reaction to gold. Resistance on gold is 12.1109. See if the bulls can break that level. Of course, if gold and the market are going in the same direction, these miners are going to see big time gains. SPY's up at the high of the day. Gold is breaking to higher highs. So gold in the market, these are going to be at least some nice short-term gains for the bull miners. We need to be cautious of a turnaround, but as of right now, this is ideal scenario for the bull miners. XLF is seeing a bear break, so the financial sector pulling back, and the S&P 500. This is the biggest divergence I've seen between the financial sector and the S&P 500 in a long time. SPY bulls exploding, gold still holding strong. Big reaction bull miners. In terms of individual names, Amazon's in the green very quickly. PCLN's right up at its all-time high. Google's at its all-time high. So gold breaking resistance. The next gold resistance is 1214.47. S&P 500 big follow through. The next SPY resistance is going to be on the daily time frame, and that's going to be up at 238.61. You need to be cautious in terms of seeing profit taking from this initial bull move. Again, ideal scenario for these bull miners, but checking in on JNUG, and we got a 5-minute RSI up in the low 80s. So personally, I'd be walking a stop loss up unless you're a longer term trader looking for swings. For day trading, I would be walking stop losses up on these bull miners and then looking to reassess the situation after things calm down a little bit. Silver is all over the place. Seeing a little bit of an upper wick. Again, the correlation between the market and gold is direct right now. Whenever there's a direct correlation, these miners move more significantly. Seeing a little bit of profit taking on the S&P 500. Looking like XLF trying to see a bit of a bounce. Financial sector hit a new high of the day, so still strong there. Or I should say the tech sector, not the financial sector. So in terms of individual bull names, not seeing a ton of action. Like the action is in the actual S&P 500 SPY here. Nice recovery by the Facebook bulls. They were lagging behind today. Netflix is making its way up to the high of the day, as gold is back up at the high as well. So bull miners, nice initial move here. And again, we're only 3 minutes into this reaction, so we need to be cautious as to whether or not these gains can hold up. Buy bulls testing the high of the day. Need to see a break here. The last thing the bulls want to see is double tops. Nice bull move. Adds a little bit of confidence to the bulls hitting that new high of the day. Netflix high of the day test. Amazon up at its highs. PCLN is just $3 below an all-time high. And the tech sector is up at the high of the day. Apple responding. Apple's 6 cents shy of its all-time high. Lots of bulls right on the verge of further blue sky breakout. Oil is responding bullish as well with the market. Oil definitely has resistance in the 48.80s. We've got resistance at 48.84, 83, and 86. 3 rejections from those levels. Gold seeing resistance at 12.13. A little bit of an upper wake-up profit taking as the S&P 500 remains strong. We have seen a bit of profit taking in these bull miners. MU and QCOM are hitting new highs of the day, although NVDA and AMD are not seeing as much upside. So no knee-jerk reaction so far. 5 minutes in. Now it's up to the interpretation of comments regarding the future as the SPY bulls pouring it on here. Next resistance on SPY, we're looking up at 239.57. We have 2 days where we've seen prices this high in the S&P 500 in the history of the S&P 500, so obviously a very bullish reaction. Netflix new high of the day, Facebook new high of the day, new all-time high for Facebook. ECLN, new all-time high, and Google, new all-time high. So the bulls are responding. Netflix all-time high is about $1 away. Apple got a new all-time high. Gold's up at the high of the day, looking for a clear break of 12.13 to continue this bull move. This is nice and steady. No fake outs, no back and forth action. This is ideal for traders. And the banks are weak. So again, this is a definite divergence in the normal correlation between, in all of 2017, I've been watching XLF, the financial sector, and the S&P 500 go hand in hand, tick for tick. And this is definitely a difference. EANW resistance is going to be the high of the day, 117.30. Break of that level before the end of the day would put the bulls in favor with some nice momentum, looking for the higher low to be set on the oversold bounce on the daily time frame, with the low of today, 115.56, being that higher low. And we're going to need to see follow through tomorrow as well. But by the end of the day, a break of 117.30 would be nice bullish momentum. Checking back in on the bull miners, we have a double top on JNUG we need to be very weary of. 60.80 and 60.81. Still right there, and NUGT has the same thing. 875 and 874. Again, we really don't want to see any double tops to incite profit taking by the bulls and the bears jumping all over things. Keeping an eye out on a potential double top here. Gold still at the high. Let's see if we have a bottom fishing play on these bear miners with their low of the day. It would be a very low risk trade if trying to time a bottom here. The stop loss just below the low of the day. Again, it could go in either direction, and the momentum would favor getting stopped out if you are looking to bottom fish the bear miners. But again, the risk would be very low, so risk to reward certainly favors reward in that scenario if getting stopped out at a new low of the day. So that's a potential trade setup. I'll always take a shot at those very low risk, high reward plays. But if you are in a bull miner position, there is no reason to exit just yet, as we are still testing these resistance levels. So the dollar is dumping. The dollar had a bearish head and shoulders pattern on the hourly time frame. That's a really nice pattern, nice and clear. Neckline of support was clear. We had a base at 101.45 and 101.44. As soon as that broke, we see the dump to the downside. Now on the daily time frame, got lower highs and lower lows after the double top at 102.25. The dollar bears are taking some momentum on the daily time frame, obviously giving bull momentum to gold. So keep an eye on these double tops. That's a bottom fishing play on these bear miners. Just hit a new low of the day by 9 cents, but JDST held its low of the day. See if we get some bounce now. Exponential 5-minute resistances on a JDST bounce attempt. The SPY is consolidating a bit. Bearish reversal 5-minute candlestick on SPY. We'll see if it gets confirmed. And again, it is playing against the momentum by looking for a bottom fishing play on these bear miners. Just the really low risk bottom fishing. With stop losses in place on every trade. BZ next resistance is 50.15. You have a top there of 50.15 and 50.14. CLVS has been consolidating most of the morning. Resistance is 72.45 and 72.63, and the bulls really want to hold the low of consolidation 70.32. So another test at these resistances for the bull miners. For JNUG, our resistance is 681 and 680. Coming up for another test here of these levels. Gold consolidating off the high. SPY is not confirming that bearish 5-minute candlestick. It's heading back up towards the high of the day, 238.79. Taking the 5-minute for gold. Gold support's going to be 12.10. And we have a clear battle going on with these miners. Battle at the highs. These tops still stand on the bull miners, and the bottom supports still stand on the bear miners. Getting tighter and tighter with 5-minute inside candlesticks. Apple, nice new all-time high. We've got resistance of 140.40, and then we're looking at psychological levels 140.50, 141. And in terms of support, the 20-period 5-minute is trying to catch up. That's at 139.99. So I'm still liking this bottom fishing JDST play. And again, it's just because even if we get stopped out, it's a very, very low-risk trade. Multiple inside 5-minute candlesticks with the range continuing to tighten. AUPH, we need to see a bullish reversal candlestick on the daily time frame, and right now we still have a lower high and lower low compared to yesterday, and it would take a close above $8 to see a bullish candlestick on the daily time frame. I am still patient and skeptical on AUPH. SPY has multiple inside candlesticks, same as these bull miners and bear miners. Everybody's got multiple inside candlesticks showing the tightening range, as gold is now consolidating a bit more consistently. 5-minute time frame hitting the lowest point of this consolidation. Tighter and tighter with a break imminent of these tight ranges. Netflix bulls are continuing to maintain control. And XLK, the tech sector, looking really good on the daily time frame as we hit the highest prices we've seen on this bull move, continuing the higher highs. Oil bulls still seeing some strength, but again, it's up to the 48.80s. Bulls have to prove their strength to us by getting through those levels. So SPY support is 238.40. Break of that level, and we should see a bit more consolidation. JNUG support is 662. You see the volume and the range dropping off here, letting us know that we're getting tight to the point of an imminent break. Another trading opportunity is coming here. Gold is potentially a bull flag on the 5-minute time frame. To see how this consolidation continues to play out, but as of right now, the bulls are liking this consolidation. We're working on our 4th inside candlestick in a row on the 5-minute time frame. So at this point, it looks like we've settled down enough that the market doesn't appear that it's going to make a complete turnaround and an all-out dump. It looks like the bulls have affirmed their control. Obviously, there's a lot of time trading left, an hour and a half, but we're going to keep this daily middle Bollinger Band, it appears, keeping the bulls in the driver's seat in the market. Keep in mind with inside candlesticks that the signals are only for the time frame that you're looking at. So if SPY 5-minute did just make a bear candlestick right before the 5-minute candlestick closed, that does not give any trading opportunity as that alert closes with that candlestick. It is still healthy consolidation on the 5-minute time frame for both bull miners and for the market at this point. It's got these tops at the highs currently being tested again. JNUG hit 662. Key support. That would be an important level going forward. New high of the day on JNUG. Let's see if we can get more than a couple pennies to be convincing. Nice bull follow through. Looking at JDST and Dust, any bottom fishing plays should have been stopped out. JDST is such a nice example of these 5-minute inside candlesticks, and as soon as we broke that 5-minute inside candlestick to the downside, we hit a new low of the day. So bull miners remaining in control. Bottom fishing opportunities stop out with a small loss. And others that are already in bull miners, no indications to sell. And miners hitting a new high of the day without gold or without the market hitting new highs. X is breaking out as well. Steel's having a really big reaction. Next X resistance is 37.07. We've broken it, so we're looking up at the 37.80 mark and the middle Bollinger Band on the daily 37.77. I would be surprised if we made it all that way today, but not much resistance until then. Netflix continuation, new high of the day there. The dollar daily pattern that I had been pointing out of the longer term head and shoulders is still valid. It's the key support line is all the way down at 99.50, 99.43, 99.43. So we're still well above that level, but still keeping an eye on it. What I was drawing in those videos previously, it would be the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder being bigger than the left shoulder, but still worth keeping an eye on. It's that main support line down at 99.43 that would be a longer term break in the uptrend if the dollar does break that level. TWLO bouncing off the 50-day moving average. It's a big bullish doji, a dragonfly doji on the daily time frame. Need a green day and need to get over the 100-day moving average resistance for the bulls to prove themselves. That 100-day moving average is going to be down around 31.70 or so tomorrow. We need a nice green follow-through day, but the bulls certainly buying the dip today. AMD continuing to push back towards the high of the day. 14.06 is resistance. Higher lows and higher highs on the 5-minute with a little bit of help here after 2 p.m. market reaction. 1364 and 1362, the low of the past 2 days. So that's our new base of support and resistance after it's actually 1409. That's the high of the day. No, I got 1406. After 1406 is 1415. But either way, there's a lot of lower wicks on the daily time frames today with bulls buying these dips. SPY still holding exponential moving average support. Minor bulls seeing more of a bullish reaction than SPY or gold at this point. So if SPY or gold picks it up and they hit a new high of the day, that's obviously only going to help minor bull momentum. So what this gives us on the weekly time frame for these miners, as we form bullish reversal candlesticks last week, we are confirming these candlesticks. And obviously there's 2 trading days left to go and a lot can change. But as of right now, close here or better at the end of this week is going to be nice solid confirmation of those bullish reversal hammers from last week. Looks like the option activity that was coming in today got it right with regards to gold. SPY is making its way up towards the high of the day as Netflix is closing in on its all-time high. Less than $1 at this point. So Netflix does appear to be the bull that is reacting the most out of individual names. Still keeping an eye on SPWR to form a solid bullish candlestick by the end of the day today. I want to see a strong close showing that bulls are confident holding overnight. Biotech sector still up at the highs, and Apple is responding as well, a lead tech bull. Looking at some daily resistance levels on these bull miners. Keeping in mind the 5-minute RSI is getting very high. We're up at the 85 JNUG 5-minute RSI. Very clear resistance, 707 and 703 the last 2 days. Here we are up at 696. So coming up on key resistance with a very overbought short-term RSI. See how the bulls react to these levels. For NUGT, the resistance from the past 2 days. 5-minute RSI is a little bit lower at 83. And we've already broken the high of the past 2 days. So in terms of resistance, NUGT is a little bit more clear on the daily time frame. A little bit less resistance because we have already broken the highs of the past 2 days. Whereas for JNUG, that resistance is very clear. A bit looming here with, a bit daunting, I should say, with 5-minute RSI so overbought. Still need a 10-cent move to the upside to break the highest price we've seen in the past 2 weeks. So the one good thing about this reaction is there's no choppy action, no fake outs. Key support on SPY is now going to be 238.37, and resistance is the high of the day as we still see a channel of trading. Bull miners very clearly in control as soon as they broke that high of the day, 681. Another leg to the upside. Key resistance is approaching. Let's see if JDST has key support, the low of the past 2 days, and it does not. So there's a difference right there, where JDST is already pretty well below the low of the past 2 days, where JNUG has not broken the high of the past 2 days. The high of yesterday, 703. High of today, currently 702. You need to be wary of these resistances with a 5-minute RSI of 85. And again, after 703 is 707. Now we see how the market is going to react to Yellen speaking regards to interpretation of future 2017 and rate hikes. Gold is heading back up to test the high of the day, 1214.66. Nice bull break for JNUG, so that gives a lot of confidence avoiding those tops. Next resistance is previous support up at 740. GDXJ up 8%. Big time day. And we know we have these 20% plus days in the leveraged ETFs only when the market and gold are going in the same direction. Shouldn't say only, but way more often than not. And at this point, as a day trader, would definitely be walking up stop losses with the RSI so overbought. If you do want to give yourself the potential to swing, you're going to need to give yourself more wiggle room, obviously. But really, the miners stealing the show in terms of action. I'm not seeing much trading opportunity, and besides the Netflix bulls that had a nice move, and obviously the market bulls, individual names have not given much opportunity. Certainly nothing like the miners have. So if SPY breaks 238.37, that is going to be the lowest price of the pullback. And the next support is down at previous resistance, the high of the day earlier, 238.15. Here's that further consolidation coming in. And looking at gold, gold's still holding up, but we do need to be weary. Upper wick forming on a 5-minute gold candlestick. JNUG will keep an eye out for these bearish reversal candlesticks on the 5-minute time frame. These bull miners. Key support on gold is the low of consolidation so far, 1209.58. Keeping an eye on any bear volume or clues. Everything's still holding up pretty well at this point. So at this point on JNUG, I'm watching the higher low pattern on the 5-minute time frame. Ever since 2 p.m. Eastern, we have seen a higher low on each 5-minute candlestick. That breaking would be signal number 1 of consolidation coming. So the low of the most recent candlestick was 692. NUGT doesn't have the same exact pattern. It did see a lower low by a penny, but still keeping an eye on the same thing. At 874 support there. And we could use NUGT. It looks like it's a bit of a leader in the sense that we're seeing a bit more weakness. So if we see NUGT start to pull back more significantly, that can be a little bit of a short-term quick heads up for JNUG bulls. NUGT 5-minute time frame looking a little bit more like a rounded top, leveling out here. It might be a nice little indicator of JNUG downside. But gold bulls are very pleased with how this reaction has gone without any kind of dump at this point. On the daily time frame, we're obviously having a big time bull candlestick. But in all, it really hasn't done a whole lot for this downtrend. We do have a higher low and a higher high now on the gold daily time frame. We have the 10-day moving average resistance currently at 12.1360. That is rejecting the price. The bulls want to close over that level. I'd say that's a good goal for the bulls by the end of today to show a lot of strength. And the weekly time frame is going to be giving us a bullish reversal candlestick on gold. But the bulls still have a lot of work to do on the daily time frame after this pretty big pullback. IWM, the gap to the upside, I do not see one. No gap on the daily. JNUG keeping the higher low 5-minute candlestick pattern by 1 penny right now. Buy support would be 238.15. The 20-period moving average on the 5-minute is going to be right at that level as well. Still no sell signal on these JNUG bulls. Netflix still hovering at its highs. Gold resistance is 1214.08, 1214.66 about to be tested. High of the day test on gold. Right as the SPY bulls buying a bit of that dip. Bull miners are loving this correlation. Direct correlation. Not exactly direct, but certainly more direct than inverse. NVDA is up at the high of the day. Netflix, Google, biotech sector. Nice continuation. New high of the day as gold is at its high. Steady action for these bull miners with JNUG stronger than NUGT just slightly. Just with regards to the 5-minute action. You need to be watching the gold double top 1214.66, 1214.59, but still right up at those levels. Hourly RSI on JNUG is up at 74. Not too overbought on the hourly. 5-minute, we are very overbought up at 88. Not slowing these bulls down. Dollar is oversold on the hourly, but the bears have already made their dent by hitting lower lows on the hourly. New high of the day on gold. Great follow through after some consolidation. So we have a new support. The low of that consolidation we'll be watching for the rest of the day and into overnight. 1209.58. Next resistance on gold. We are looking up at 1218.47. This is pretty much a picture perfect day, picture perfect reaction for these bull miners. This almost would be if I just came on and saw what gold in the market were doing, I'd almost anticipate that the decision was no rate hike in March. So NVDA, if we can close above this daily middle Bollinger Band today, which is currently at 102.60, next resistance is going to be up at 104.37 and 105.20. Goal for the bulls is to close above that daily middle Bollinger Band. X is not a buy up here. It's too overbought in my opinion. Did form a nice bull flag of consolidation on the 5-minute, and we're testing the high of the day. But at this point, I never make a bullish entry with 5-minute RSIs at these levels. They signal too overbought, and more often than not, they will indicate the consolidation is coming in the near term. I do not like the positioning on the 5-minute time frame. But this is a strong day for the X-Bulls that really needed this after 2 weeks of a lot of weakness. Next resistance on the daily time frame is the middle Bollinger Band at 37.78. Still no slowing gold down at the high of the day. Let's see if these SPY bulls can break to a higher high. I would anticipate profit taking in these miners. Think about how much time we have left. We have an hour and 15 minutes of trading left. We've seen nothing but bulls since 2 p.m. You know, we are very overbought in the short term on the 5-minute time frame. But we do need to keep in mind that we are likely to see some profit taking occur overnight. So at this point, if you are in bull miner positions, you need to already have your game plan established. If we close above X, I'm going to swing it. If we pull back to X, I'm going to exit. Rather than making decisions on the fly and letting your emotions take over. JNUG is not stopping. See if the SPY bulls can break 238.79 for a new high. EMH is weak. Support is 120. We're down around the lows. After 120 is 115. Lower high, lower low pattern on the daily time frame. And today it looked like it's going to be a day for the memory books, history books, whatever kind of books for these bull miners. Next resistance on JNUG on the daily time frame. 740 has been broken. We're looking at 789. Nice new high of the day on SPY. The bulls just affirmed their full control, giving us nice wiggle room above the daily middle Bollinger Band. And just looking back at the all-time high, it's still going to be a fairly low volume day, and that's because we started so slow today. Nice new all-time high on Google. It's at the high of the day. Netflix creeping closer and closer to its all-time high. And NVDA following through as a lead bull with the biotech sector. So the lead bulls continuing to tack it on as SPY hits a new high. QCOM resistance is 58.74, and it is a double top at this point, but we're just 1 penny below that, so still not done testing it. So SPY bulls, 2 resistance levels is all we have to be looking at. 239.57 and the all-time high 240.32. And that gold resistance was 1218.47, and we did just break that. Current resistance, the high of the day, 1219.49. Keeping an eye on the upper wicks forming on the 5-minute gold candlestick and the 5-minute minor candlesticks. And this is going to be the first bearish reversal 5-minute candlestick that JNUG has seen since the reaction. If we confirm it here and break the higher low pattern on the 5-minute in terms of each candlestick. Profit taking going on. And if JNUG this candlestick breaks 723, it will lose the higher low pattern on the 5-minute, but it is still intact. Nice trade on JNUG, walking that stop loss out. Stop loss up, I should say. JNUG key support at this point on the 5 minute, 723 and 724. Low of the last two 5 minute candlesticks. Another test of the high of the day for SPY. And it's still these lead bulls up at their highs. Netflix, Google, biotech. If looking to go bearish the bull miners, it's the high of the day is really the only resistance level in the near term to be looking at. For JNUG, that level currently is 755. That's the only close resistance we have to be going off of. And for NUGT, it's 921, a little double top, but we're right at that level for NUGT. Obviously, stop losses are a must. And shorting these bull miners or playing the bear miners for a bounce is definitely the trade to be had here if looking for an end of the day trade. Obviously, wouldn't want to be making a bull miner entry up here, but being patient. Bulls do still have strength. Checking in on XBI, the highest price that we have seen on this bull move in the past 3 months is 72.43, and we're currently just 16 cents below that level. SPWR is at the high of the day. Resistance on SPWR is going to be 716 and 725. We have not seen a strong close in multiple weeks. Looking for a close near the high of the day to give some confidence to the bulls. Right now, the gold and JNUG 5-minute charts are pretty much identical. A little bit more discrepancy in the NUGT 5-minute chart. For X, it's 37.79 is the daily middle Bollinger Band resistance. 5-minute RSI is 85. Hourly RSI is 78. by consolidating again, and we will continue to hold this uptrend as long as we hold the low of the previous consolidation down at 238.22. Key support test on JNUG 723. Oil bulls did get that break of the 48.80s. Move up to 49.01. Really want to see this hourly candlestick close above those 48.80s. Checking XLE. Confirming the bullish reversal hammer from yesterday. Key resistance is 70.65. High of today is 70.66. Bulls want a little bit more clear of a break than that level. See a break of the shortest lower high. Bulls have a lot of work to do to break the downtrend on the daily time frame for XLE. So JNUG keeping the 5-minute higher low pattern on these candlesticks, and the next level is 730. Tesla keeping the recovery up from the low of the day earlier this morning, and we're seeing resistance of 256.89. We're battling the 100 period 5-minute resistance. A lot of back and forth with that level in the past hour. And if the bulls can break 256.89, we're looking up at 256.99. Couple resistance levels just under 257. JNUG getting tighter and tighter again on this 5-minute. Still holding control for the bulls. Multiple inside candlesticks yet again on JNUG. We had 3 inside candlesticks earlier that led to a bull break and continuation. Now we've got 3 inside candlesticks again. Tightening range, volume dropping off. The break will be marked with an increase in volume on the 5-minute. New low of the day here for the financial sector. The gap at 24.55 I am keeping an eye on for XLF. And if we close below the middle Bollinger Band today on XLF 2470, we'll be looking to fill that gap. Apple still hovering at the high of the day and its all-time high, as is PCLN and Google. Should see a break here on JNUG from this inside candlestick pattern in the next 5-minute candlestick. New support 730, 731. Close to a bear break. Volume will be telling. The bears want to see increasing bear volume. After 730 support on JNUG, we're looking at 723. My line in the sand right now is 730, even though the low of the previous candlestick was 731. Candlestick right below that, before that, was 730, and we just bounced off of 730 again. That is the new key level in the short term, 730 support. Break of that level would be a potential bearish trigger to either exit a bullish position or enter a bearish position. But everything is still holding up, no dump. I'm going to run and grab something to drink real quick, and then at 3:15 we'll go through our usual routine of going over daily and weekly charts as we head into tomorrow. As of right now, if you are watching JNUG to either exit a bull position or enter a bear position, 730 is the key support that stands out to me. I'll be back in about 5 minutes. I'm going to leave the live up. I'm just going to mute. So back here, and we're going to start looking at some daily and weekly charts as JNUG gets closer and closer to its key 730 support. Here's what SPY is going to be looking like. We are going to see this upper Bollinger Band as a factor before the all-time high. You can see it's now leveling out. It's going to have to slowly ascend back to the upside, but it is going to be a factor if we were to see bullish continuation into tomorrow. That upper Bollinger Band would be the next level of resistance that we are looking at. The weekly time frame continues to show lots of strength. After a short-term consolidation period, the bulls are showing back up. And if we close strong, we will have that bull momentum heading into tomorrow. And I'm very impressed with the SPY bulls and their ability to hold up their gains at this point. As we have Facebook continuing to new all-time highs, 140 psychological resistance. Lots of individual tickers are strong out there. Apple testing its all-time high again. And all-time high is the word of the day for a lot of names. So here we go here. Let's start it off with BABA. So BABA bulls bought the dip, and that must-hold level was at 102.10 this morning. We saw the triple bottom at the low of the day, bouncing off 102.60 3 times. And then the bulls broke that trend to favor the upside. So that was a really nice bottom fishing setup this morning. Very, very slow going, but obviously the market reaction helping the bulls here. And we have a nice long lower wick. So we have upper wicks the past 2 days, a lower wick today. We know the bulls have been struggling in the 105s and defending the 102s, so that's our channel here. And we need to see follow through to the upside as the Bollinger Band is now ascending, creating more room to the upside. Resistance heading into tomorrow will be 104.50, and then 106 would be the next price action level. So the bulls do have a little bit of momentum, but the goal for the bulls today is going to be, or this week I should say, is going to be to close above 105. That is because you see all these upper wicks rejecting from that 105 range recently, and that has been clearly the level that the bears are jumping all over this price. So if in the next 2 days we see the bulls able to close above 105 on the weekly time frame, we are going to be looking back up at our recent highs, and it's the same scenario where this upper Bollinger Band on the weekly is leveling out and now beginning to ascend to the upside as well. So watching these Bollinger Bands as the near-term resistances, bulls have some nice momentum going forward and maintaining higher lows. That is why 102.10 was this key level. Bounce off of 100 3 times, higher low 101.30, 102.10, and now 102.60 is our key level of support. XBI bulls also in full control today. They're one of the stronger sectors. We're at the high of the day with a nice new push. That's a good-looking candlestick for the XBI bulls. This is the highest price we have seen on this move. Higher highs and higher lows continue. We were getting tight here this past week, and this is the momentum the bulls needed to new highs. So that's a great follow-through for the biotech bulls. Highest price we've seen in over a year at this point. And the next resistance we're going to be looking at, I have to zoom out, year and a half ago. The next resistance is going to be looking up at 73.44. Really strong biotech sector. As long as this daily middle Bollinger Band holds, the bulls are in control. Nice new push for the SPY bulls. JNUG has not lost 730 support. So SKX here, bull breakout on the daily time frame, trying to close above 27.10 to be in breakout mode. And the next resistance is up at 27.80 and 28.50. The weekly time frame, consolidation for the past month, and now the bulls are showing back up. Bulls are in control of SKX, checking in on NKE, which has had some upside action. NKE bulls are close. I really like these NKE bulls, and I know it's on our resident bear list, and it's been there forever. Don't mean to switch from SKX, but same sector. And I want to go over NKE a little bit here, and we'll get back to it. But NKE, I really like this consolidation, and it's a bull flag of consolidation on the daily time frame, with the bulls now starting to show back up. We have a lot of resistance at 58 and 58.25. After that, we're looking up at 60. And you look at this weekly time frame, you say that is a very clear bear trend. Why do you care about NKE bullish? And it's if you zoom back and get a different perspective on things and look at the 10-year monthly chart. And that is a very clear bull flag of healthy consolidation following a pretty much a 9-year, 8-year bull move. Consolidation, and if we break $60, we break the lower high pattern on the monthly, and we look to head back towards that all-time high. So I do like the bull flag on the daily, the bull flag on the monthly, and we just have to break $60 to break the downtrend on the weekly. But we can see the trend is shifting with bullish momentum after 2 weeks of contained consolidation. If the NKE bulls can break 58.25, we're looking up at 60. So SKX is seeing upside as well on the daily time frame, and a bull break of 28.50 would go a long way to shifting that momentum on the daily time frame. But in terms of changing the weekly trend, the bulls still have a lot of resistance in the upper $32 range, and that's still another 15% away from where we currently stand. So the bulls have a lot of work to change the trend on the weekly time frame. The NKE bulls are a lot closer. M bearish break. Middle Bollinger Band resistance, couldn't get over that level, and now we're coming down to our recent low of 29.85. If that level breaks, there's a gap at 29.22, but the bears are very clearly in control, and the fact that we're not seeing any help here from really strong market day that's almost up 1% at this point lets us know that the bears are very strong on M at this point and in full control. So closing fairly close to the low of the day, and resistance 31.78, 31.75, a little double top at those levels. 29.85 key support, looking like we could test that level tomorrow if we close near the low, which favors bears for momentum. RH big time follow through, so we built a double low at 32.70, 32.75. The break of the high of yesterday, 33.84, gave some nice momentum, and now we're responding well to the market strength. So the next resistance is up at 35.41 and 35.42. A little double top at those levels, and we can see the bulls buying the dip this week. Still a downtrend on the weekly time frame. We have to break 39.28 and 39.98 to break the lower high pattern to try and change this trend. We have a double low. Now we need to break the lower highs. That's the goal for the bulls, but again, we still need another 10% to the upside before we break that level. But the daily chart certainly favoring the bulls with our new key, very clear support of 32.70. PANW, we got that bullish reversal candlestick we were looking for after the low volume consolidation the past 2 days. Bullish reversal candlestick today. Higher low is established on this oversold bounce, and now we need a higher high, breaking 119.75. So the must hold level is 115.56. Break that level. That's a big red flag for the short term bulls. And again, we're just fighting this trend, so we know the oversold bounce. We're not looking to change any trends or go really long term here. We're just looking for higher lows and higher highs to try to get into filling this gap. We have to break 120.99 to start filling this gap. So at this point, I would be out as a bull if 115.56 breaks, but the bulls, this is the candlestick we were looking for today. Bulls are defending the 200-week moving average. Need to see some follow-through in the next 2 days. Otherwise, we are not going to be confirming the bullish reversal candlestick on the weekly from last week, and there will be the potential that it is a bear flag forming on the weekly. So the 200-week is still holding, but the bulls want to close this week above, an ideal scenario would be above 121. Netflix bulls trying to be in breakout mode here. We've got the upper Bollinger Band at 145.13, close above that level, and we are in breakout mode, and we are just 50 cents away from an all-time high. So bulls are very strong. We're on the verge of a bullish MACD cross, and after that big bull day 2 days ago, getting above that middle Bollinger Band, that really set the tone. And again, this was a nice bull flag pattern where we have our horizontal support and resistance lines. Going to be drawing them a little sloppy for time's sake. That's that channel. Got above it, back tested and held it. Now continuation. We're looking for all-time highs on Netflix. Good looking weekly chart after a couple of weeks of consolidation. Fending off that bearish MACD cross. AKS, big time follow through. We had a lot of resistance at 802, $8, 804. Clearly breaking those levels today. Middle Bollinger Band is 828, closing above that level. But in order to break the lower high downtrend after a double bottom, we had a low at 760 and 760, a double bottom to the penny. Now we must break 884. Then we're looking at 919. So it's still a lower high pattern. Bulls need to use this double bottom momentum and see a break of 884 to change the downtrend. The weekly time frame, we've got that bounce attempt that was very weak that led to further downside, but we didn't break that low, double bottom. And for the weekly chart to be looking good for the bulls, we have to get over that 919 level. Double bottom and then a break of the lower highs. Still work to do for the bulls, but they're closing strong today with some decent momentum. JNUG and these miners are holding up better than they ever could have hoped for. No profit taking in consolidation. JNUG is heading back up towards the high of the day after holding 730. Check out GDX. It too looks like a bull flag on the 5-minute time frame. It's trying to head back towards the highs. At this point, I personally would not be looking to enter to swing overnight, and that's just because the dollar is oversold on the hourly. We have a bullish reversal candlestick. And this is why I leave support and resistance lines up. I have no idea where this line came from, but it is where the dollar just bounced off of to the penny. So I have to zoom back, and I won't do that now because it's going to take a little time, but I need to find where that line's coming from. But it very clearly was in play previously whenever I drew it, and now we just bounced to the penny off of that level in oversold conditions. We have a bullish reversal candlestick on the dollar. We've got gold RSI on the hourly is up at about 78. So personally, those are not conditions that I would want to enter a position to swing at. If I were already in a position and had a decent amount of profit where I wouldn't be risking a loss by entering a position because I would already be in that position, that's a different scenario. But entering a position up here to hold overnight, I don't like that scenario. The risk to reward does not favor a bullish entry at these levels. OAS, big buying of the dip yesterday. Bullish reversal candlestick being confirmed, but we have a clear resistance of 1339, the high of the last little bounce attempt, and 1337 is the high of today. So we have to break those levels to see any kind of follow through to the upside. And the weekly time frame is a nice solid bullish reversal candlestick. Worth starting to pay attention to OAS after we've been consolidating for months after a breakout. And it is still healthy consolidation, even though it took forever. Judging by where we came from and maintaining these higher lows, bullish reversal candlestick on the weekly. Step number 1 is to break 1339, and then the 100-week and middle Bollinger Band, or the 100-day and the middle Bollinger Band resistances will be in the 1380s. Still a lot of work to do for the bulls, but that weekly chart says pay attention. We need to confirm that candlestick next week, try and resume this overall uptrend that we've been in for the past year. And there goes JNUG with a new high. Keeping those higher lows alive on the 5-minute time frame. We did break one by 1 penny, but the previous one behind it still held support by 1 penny. So I always give a little bit of wiggle room, and that 1 penny was enough wiggle room for JNUG bulls to hold strong. 30 minutes left. We'll see how the end of the day goes. Checking in on gold. See if gold can get a new high with the 5-minute healthy consolidation. So BAC, middle Bollinger Band on the daily is holding of 24.95. If we lose that level, our target is the gap fill of 24.62. Weekly time frame, bearish reversal doji last week. Bearish break of the inside candlestick this week. But again, you look on the weekly time frame, and that right now is healthy, contained consolidation. No red flags on those candlesticks. And we're still holding the daily middle Bollinger Band. So that is the key support level going forward. So TWLO, bulls bought the dip. It's a bullish reversal dragonfly doji. We need to confirm it tomorrow, and we have to get over the 100-day moving average resistance, which rejected the price the past 2 days. We've got that resistance. That's going to be at about 31.70 or so tomorrow. Weekly time frame. Bulls want to see some further upside, not liking, to zoom in here, but not liking the upper wick here on the weekly. We did backtest and hold the middle Bollinger Band, but we need to see the bulls close this week up around 32 or better, ideally closing above this 100-day moving average to end this week, to be looking for some further upside next week. So our higher low is now established, and now we need that higher high with a break of 32.67. CLVS, after a huge bull move over 2 days, definitely need to be weary of profit taking up at these levels. Upper Bollinger Band still holding in breakout mode. Resistance is 73.81. Nice big time continuation for the bulls on the weekly time frame. But we obviously definitely need to be cautious after we have seen such a significant move, almost 20% in 2 days. And from the low of yesterday, it is 20%. I'm looking at key support right now, 70.32. If we break that level by the end of today, the momentum will be favoring the bears in the short term. That is our low of the afternoon, 70.32. HBM. Big bullish day. Resistance is 730. High of today, 730. So we have a double top at that level, and then 738 comes next. The bulls have momentum. Bulls ideally would want to see more volume than we're currently seeing. That's not a ton of volume at this point. We can break 730 tomorrow, 738, and then the 50-day moving average, which will be just about 760. Weekly time frame, holding the middle Bollinger Band in the 200-week moving average last week, holding it again this week. This is a bullish reversal candlestick. Key moving average supports holding on the weekly. Need to confirm this candlestick next week with further upside. But this is a nice reaction to those weekly moving averages so far. Just need to get that break of 730 to continue this move to the upside. SWIR getting very tight on the daily time frame. Support is 26.85. And looking at resistance, 29.11 and 29.84. Bulls getting back over the middle Bollinger Band is a good sign today. We need to see a bit more follow through as we are getting very tight here. Weekly time frame looks like some nice normal healthy consolidation. Not confirming any bearish reversal candlesticks. And a close at the high of the day does favor the bulls. So the next immediate resistance is 28.75 before 29.11. Bulls still in control. Require a break of 26.85 to change that on the daily time frame. FCX, big bull candlestick. So you can see a pattern where we are seeing some big green candlesticks here. We have a double low. We had 12.18 and we bounced off of 12.17. And now breaking the recent lower high. So I'm looking at resistance of 13. A little gap at 13.03. Nice close up at the high on the verge of a bullish MACD cross. Bullish reversal candlestick trying to form on the weekly time frame off of the 50 and the 100-week moving average supports. Looks like a test of 13 is coming tomorrow with a strong close here at the end of today on some pretty decent bull volume. APH continues to be the strongest daily chart in the Canadian MJ sector. Seeing some weakness today, but the volume is very low. Further consolidation, the must-hold support is 601. We have a double low at $6. So the bulls need to form a higher low compared to $6 and then try and keep this uptrend intact. Weekly time frame, still very strong. The middle Bollinger Band hasn't even been touched in 8+ months, really almost a year at this point. But the bears are still in control, so we need to be cautious and patient. Patience the key word. So Tesla not seeing much upside. Looks like the bulls used up most of their momentum yesterday on that little short squeeze day. Indecisive doji, which favors the bears after a big bull move. Buy bulls still running here at the end of the day, now up 1%. So for Tesla, support is going to be 254.27, and if we lose that level, the 50-day moving average is going to be in the low 251s tomorrow. New resistance is 261, but this is a bullish weekly candlestick. We have a very clear, solid base of support at 242 and 243 now. That is a level that the bears are going to be watching. The gap to the upside at 270-260, but it does look like some short-term consolidation is coming on Tesla after that big move. And checking out the hourly, it's still some pretty normal, healthy consolidation considering where we came from yesterday. WFT. WFT holding the middle Bollinger Band on the daily. We filled the gap back to the downside yesterday. Then we filled a gap to the upside today. Resistance is 628. Bullish, healthy consolidation. And I would not be surprised to form a lower high compared to the recent little bounce attempt where we topped out at 656. We're going to have to see increasing volume for the bulls to change that. I do expect the daily time frame to continue to tighten up a little bit. We have an inside candlestick on the weekly time frame to be watching next week. So the bulls do have momentum as long as this daily middle Bollinger Band holds now that we've filled the gap to the downside. That would be my must-hold level if I were a bull. And resistance after 628 is up at 657. Ideal scenario for the bulls tomorrow is an increase in volume over today, more than 20 million shares traded, and some continuation. $7 and $7.09 key resistances to try and break the longer-term downtrend. See if after some consolidation, the bulls can head back up towards that $7 range. Again, that gap fill to the downside at 591, dropped down to 582. Now the bulls have seen a nice recovery. See how much momentum they get to the upside. So the SPY bulls continuing extremely strong. BTE, another green Marubozu, extremely strong candlestick. We have a double bottom at the low of the day, 327, 326, I should say the low of yesterday. And to break the lower high pattern, we're looking at 361 and 388. A lot of work for the bulls still. We have our base of support. We have some decent follow through, but we are still in a lower high pattern fighting the trend. Unless the bulls see some follow through tomorrow to break 361. And really, I wouldn't be comfortable as a bull until we get this middle Bollinger Band as some solid support. We have closed over it a couple times in the past 3 months, but we have not closed over it 2 days in a row. That's at 368 and dropping. The bulls can get that daily middle Bollinger Band as some more convincing support. Hold it while it begins to level out and ascend. That will be a good sign for the bulls. And of course, if we break that little double bottom low, 326, that would be a clear exit signal for the bulls. The PANW, perfect follow through. This is the candlestick. I shouldn't say follow through. This is just the beginning of the bullish reversal candlestick. We need follow through tomorrow. But this is the candlestick we were looking for today. After low volume consolidation the past 2 days, we wanted that bullish reversal candlestick. Closing up at the high of the day will give us some momentum. And we need to see a break of 117.95, 119.75. AMD, low of yesterday, 1365. Low of today, 1362. Back testing and holding the daily middle Bollinger Band 2 days in a row and closing near the high. Resistance is 1415 and 1468. A break of the low of today, 1362, would be a red flag in the short term, but the bulls have been buying the dip the past 2 days. We need to see follow through to the upside tomorrow. Baba bouncing off that middle Bollinger Band, a triple bottom at the low of the day, 102.60. It is a bullish hammer. And the middle Bollinger Band is a key level, and now 102.60 is a key level to be watching to maintain higher lows on the daily time frame. Resistance is 104.50. Bulls would really love a break of that level tomorrow. Need to erase some of this upper wick before the close of this week, because that is a weak candlestick on the weekly. Bulls want to close up around 105, ideally over 105, which has been continuously rejecting the price. SPWR looking good. This is the strongest SPWR close we've seen COST bullish reversal candlestick yesterday being confirmed with some follow through. Resistance is going to be 166.50, 168.62. Weekly time frame after two high volume pullback weeks, trying to form this bullish reversal candlestick to maintain the higher low pattern. Gonna have to confirm it next week. And our new must hold level is 164.10. Bulls need to start forming some higher lows and higher highs to see some recovery after that big gap down and dump. But it does look like the bears exhausted themselves to the downside, so the bulls are showing back up. Strong close at the high of the day yesterday, saw follow through today. We'll see if the strong close at the high of the day today gets that same kind of follow through tomorrow. SPWR, these solar names, this is the strongest candlestick and strongest close we've seen on the daily time frame in about 3 weeks. FSLR is the leader and SPWR is the laggard. You can see FSLR is breaking the highest price that it's seen in the past 4 or 5 days, and SPWR is just behind it, not nearly seeing as much upside. Bullish reversal candlestick today. We need confirmation tomorrow, but this is a great start, and the solar sector is closing strong. Apple resistance at the all-time highs. It's just psychological levels. 141 is the next resistance. I don't like, if I were forced to take a minor position, it would be a bearish minor position overnight just because of the overbought conditions, but I personally would not take either direction. I would start tomorrow with a nice clean slate. I was looking for JNUG to break 730 as a bearish signal. It did not happen. Continuing to form higher lows. The bulls are maintaining very, very strong. It's very impressive how they are holding these gains without seeing profit taking here at the end of the day. Of course, we still have 20 minutes left to go, but as of right now, the bulls are very impressive on these miners, and I would just look at tomorrow as a fresh, clean slate personally because I wouldn't want to have my hands tied overnight while gold trades for another dozen plus hours. We've got the dollar trying to see a bullish reversal candlestick from oversold conditions, and we have gold testing its high of the day, pulling back just shy right now. But I'm not seeing any weakness in these miners right now, which is why I would not be entering a bearish position overnight. But it's also too overbought for me to want to enter a bullish position if not already in one and already profitable to hold overnight. CLF bullish reversal candlestick yesterday with confirmation today. Up at the 50-day moving average, bulls want to close above 973. And then we're looking up at 10 psychological as the next resistance. Bullish reversal candlestick trying to form on the weekly. We are still holding higher lows. We had 828, higher low at 845, higher low at 864. So we are keeping that higher low pattern on the weekly. Bullish reversal candlestick needs to be confirmed next week. Nice start to that bounce playing out. You can see these bases of support on the daily chart forming these higher lows. So a strong close here, ideally above 973. And we're looking up at 10 psychological. WEED, a clear bear break of the multiple inside candlesticks on the daily time frame. Very low volume. That's the one thing the bulls have going for them. 1076 is the next support with 1082 the low of today. Still patient, looking for a higher low to form, and then the bulls are going to have to break 1137 to break this downtrend of lower highs on the daily time frame that has been intact for the past month. The bears are still in control. We're being very patient, waiting for a bullish reversal candlestick on the daily time frame, waiting for a higher low to form as the bears came out on top today with that break. EMC also broke the low of yesterday. Bears still in full control. Next support is 245 and then 236. No sign of the bulls right now. We need to form a higher low and make a move back towards 289, the high of this bounce. Bears are a lot stronger in EMC than they are on most Canadian MJ names. SPY with a very strong close. Another high, all-time high test for Apple here, as Netflix is at the high of the day and just 45 cents shy of a new all-time high. Apple still extremely strong as the, look at this, the tech sector is on fire. Big breakout. Continuation. 53.46 is the upper Bollinger Band. Google, Facebook, and Apple all-time highs today. that tech sector strength. JNUG is still not slowing down, testing the high of the day. Our new support level is 752. High of the day, 765 resistance. Next resistance on these daily time frames. 789 on JNUG. Really looking up at 984 on NUGT, although the daily middle Bollinger Band will be in the low 960s tomorrow, so that'll be the next level. But the bulls, again, these weekly time frames, really looking good for confirmation of that candlestick last week. 2 trading days left to go, but close anywhere around these levels. Solid confirmation. Checking in on some names we've been watching. SQ getting very tight. The range right now on SQ is 1664 support and 1720 resistance. Watching for a spike in volume to break those ranges. And keeping an eye on FNMA and the 200-day moving average support. Holding 3 tests. XOM was another one we've been watching. Nice follow through from that doji yesterday, and XOM on the weekly time frame is going to be trying to hold its 100-week moving average for the 4th week in a row. 83.26 key 200-week resistance. That's the channel we have been in for 6 weeks. JNUG right now does have a double top at the high of the day, but still testing those levels. Keeping an eye out for some profit taking here at the last 10 minutes, but there has not been much sign of it at all. Look at this SPY 5-minute time frame. It's just been solid higher lows and higher highs, not breaking that higher low pattern. Checking out Veil. Big move on Veil, getting over that 50-day moving average resistance that had rejected the price the past 2 days. Nice strong close here on increased bull volume up near the high. The next resistance is 1076 and 1093. And we did break a lower low here, so we do need to be cautious. We had support of 953 and we dropped down to 927, so that is a lower low. You need to be anticipating the potential for a lower high to form here compared to the 1170 recent high that we hit. So that lower low makes me a lot more cautious as a bull than I would be if that was a higher low. But again, the close at the high of the day, short-term bull momentum certainly strong. And the volume is there to back it up. 1076 and 1093. But I would be skeptical of the ability for this strong uptrend over the past year to continue now that we have hit that lower low. Buy a little bit of profit taking coming in now. Support 238.95 to maintain the strongest